Brian and Dave specifically, but I think there have been others, but
Okay,
we'll yeah.
it's just helpful for me to know that before we go into
Yeah,
this.
yeah. And I don't know if there's anybody else that's been involved, but I know that Brian and Dave have been involved in the discussion. Okay. Hey, the only other thing is let's just make sure Tyler is he is a Life Scout. He's a well-respected member of the Sangha. He's helped and supported so many events, and most recently was the probably getting into Patty's introduction, but most recently.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let's move forward. Brian, if you wouldn't mind, why don't we go ahead and let Tyler in?
Ready.
Okay.
Looks like he's logged in twice.
Yeah, or you might be sharing his screen on something and audio on the other. Hi, Tyler.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
There we go.
Hello.
Maybe that's better.
Good evening.
There you are.
Hey, Tyler. Hey, welcome to the meeting. Thanks for waiting in the lobby. Sorry that took so long.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Tyler. So Tyler's been in scouting for 10 years. He was 5 years as a Cub Scout, 5 years as a Boy Scout. He's currently in the 11th grade, and he's currently the troop's senior patrol leader. Tyler's been a part of our church for many years, and right now he is the Junior YBA Vice President. At school, he's a CSF, which is California Scholarship Federations. He's the tutoring coordinator, and that oversees the peer tutoring during school and after school in the library at North High. And he's also the student rep for Torrance City Council. Tonight, Tyler is going to present his Eagle project idea to our board. Tyler, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Should I share my screen, my presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, please do.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Patty. My name is Tyler Tanaka. I'm currently a junior at North High School, and I am a Life Scout in Troop 242. This is my Eagle Scout project proposal, and I guess we already know the location as it is at the Gardena Buddhist Church. The highlighted blue area on the presentation is the location of where it is on church grounds. So it's going to be in the patio area of the Gardena Buddhist Church near the benches. So the purpose of the project is essentially from my own observations at the church every Sunday and even at the Boy Scout meetings, just looking at the area, it looks very open, but also it looks very kind of bare and very, how should I say? For a lack of better terms, it just looks very bare. As I've been told from Sunday Social, as I've done it twice or 3 times this year, we don't use the outside patio area very much due to the amount of sunlight and the amount of heat that gathers in that area. And so this structure would essentially provide shade in an area where people sit at the benches for them to enjoy their Sunday Social or other activities in that patio area. And so over the past 8 months, I've been working with a general contractor that I know because he helped remodel our house. And we've been working on different ideas to figure out a way to mitigate the amount of sun and heat that comes into the patio area so people can enjoy it more during the daytime. And originally our plan was to build a wooden trellis. And so we had 3D models. My contractor Miguel helped draw these models, and we essentially planned for it to be a wooden structure that we would build custom made and custom drawn for the patio area. However, as we continued through the project planning, we realized that the amount of resources, the amount of labor, and then in addition to that, the amount of permits that we would need in order to complete the project would be unreasonable. And we kind of wanted to stick with the same idea that we wanted to provide shade for this patio area, in specific the benches of the patio area. And so we stuck with it, a similar idea, although it is not the exact same as what we intentionally planned originally. And as you can see, it was going to be very tall at about 12 feet, and it was going to be a lot of wood, as we would need a lot of wood to create the slats on the top and then on the back side. Originally, the plan was to mimic the design of the Japanese school buildings, where at the edge they have the wooden slats that cover the windows. And so it would kind of mimic that design and tie into the church. But also in recent times here, we realized that the church was also going to start getting remodeled. Recently, I went to OCBC and their grounds have been remodeled pretty recently, and they've gone for a more modern design. And so I'm sort of assuming or making a judgment that the church is also going for a more newer design when they remodel the social hall in coming years. And so we weren't sure if the Japanese school buildings were also going to take that same design change. And so now for the actual project, we decided to go for a metal prefabricated pergola, and we would buy it from Home Depot, and it would look like this, where it is metal, a black kind of plain design, and it would be about 7 feet tall, 10 feet wide, and about 12 feet long. Our plan currently is to follow these designs, and it would overarch into the patio area with those 2 posts. These aren't long enough to span across the wisteria tree and all the benches right there. However, we are planning to buy 2 of them and then put 1 on each side of the wisteria tree, on the left and the right side. This would create shade for the left and the right side of the wisteria tree. But also what I noticed in the morning is that the wisteria tree kind of creates its own shade in addition to the maki tree or the persimmon tree. And so this would help create shade on both sides of the wisteria tree where the shade is not currently at. This is the back side of the structure, which would be facing the parking lot or the temple. And so the timeline for my project will be 1 weekend. So we will need to close that area off for 1 weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday. And our timeline for each day is on Saturday, we would dig out dirt in order to place cement and install rebar. So essentially the prefabricated project requires J-bolts at the base of the pergola to solidify it into the ground. And so we would set J-bolts prior to pouring the concrete. And then we would mix and let the concrete set overnight, and then come back on Sunday, the following day, to resize the metal structure for our needs if we were going to change any of the dimensions, and build the structure based off of the instructions that is provided, because it is prefabricated and because we are buying it from Home Depot. So possible dates for the project. So some possible dates at the earliest would be the 27th and the 28th for my project. However, the date we are leaning the most towards is the 18th and the 19th of May. We are hoping to get this done prior to the start of Obon practice and the rest of the activities for summer. But in order to compensate for fundraising and the amount of time I would need for that, we would need to start a little bit later after April. So the possible dates currently are April 27th and the 28th in a combined weekend. So it's Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, the 11th and the 12th of May. And then our best dates that we have so far, I think, is the 18th and the 19th. And this also works in conjunction with my contractor, Miguel, because he will be present with us to help us build the structure with his knowledge as a general contractor, in addition to the amount of tools he can provide for the project. So my budget for the project is currently $3,500, which I know sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But our total cost currently is $3,250 with all the materials that we would need to buy. I am giving a little bit of wiggle room in the budget just in case prices do change from now until when I buy the materials. $3,500 is a lot of money, and I have sort of researched some fundraising options. And that brings us to fundraising, which some of the options that I have been researching, I haven't reached out to plan any of them yet, but some possible fundraisers are a Shave Ice booth, which Troop 242 does have, thanks to one of the parents in the troop, Mr. Yonakawa. And I've already discussed with him the possibility of doing a Shave Ice fundraiser at multiple locations. And he has expressed that he is open to it and is willing, just needs advance notice. And so far, the last event raised about $581, with material cost being $30 and the booth fee being $30 at the one location we were at Lincoln. And it was also a cold day, so we weren't getting as many people buying Shave Ice. But some other options for fundraisers are restaurant/eatery fundraisers, a possible bake sale where troop families would donate some baked goods for us to sell at a bake sale, and then Krispy Kreme partnership cards, which would be a buy one get one free type card that we would sell. I have thought of ways of selling those, whether having scouts sell a couple on their own to help fundraise for my projects, and different organizations I can reach out to that may be interested in buying Krispy Kreme buy one get one free cards. And I will talk with Mr. Yonakawa, parent in our troop, about, because we do those fundraisers for our troop, so he knows more information on that, and I can reach out to him for that information. Okay, so now that brings us to any questions, because that concludes what I have about the general information of my project. If anybody has any specific questions, you can feel free to ask me now.
I have a question. This is Kathy Uemura. Tyler, I think you were saying that that pergola is metal. Does that create
Yes.
any heat on a sunny day?
Are you talking about for people sitting underneath or for the structure itself?
Mostly for the people underneath.
The structure, or the pergola should be relatively cool underneath, as there's also a shade kind of canopy air, what should I say, like a covering that goes over it. However, we can also design from our end another one that we can reuse over and over again and should last longer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I saw that sheet on top. I thought that was going to be a metal sheet. That was kind of dumb. I'm sorry. Okay, that would be like a canvas sheet or something other than metal.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Tyler. This is Mrs. Mato. Good job. I have a question on your timeline, only because, like you said, that 3,500 is a lot of money to raise, and you'll need time to raise it in order to purchase
Yes.
everything. So aside from May, because again, we're already in late March, right? So
Mhm.
have you considered if you don't do it in May and you push it out a bit because you have to raise the funds?
So I've also thought of the factor of if we don't make enough funds, and I've discussed it with my troop leaders, and we decided that it was possible that we could also fundraise after the project is over, in addition to what we raised before. So if we get close, or we're like really close to what the fundraising goal is, we would fundraise after the project just a little bit. And then the proceeds should go to the troop after that.
Got it. Good answer. Thank you.
And just so you guys know, we really don't like the GoFundMe because they're donations. The scouts are just asking for money. However, the GoFundMe allows scouts to reach out to people that wouldn't be able to come around for a standard fundraiser. So relatives that are across the country and other states, friends of family that would go see the GoFundMe account, they would be able to donate to the scout for their Eagle project. For smaller projects, $200-300, I would really discourage a GoFundMe account, or a GoFundMe fundraiser. But for Tyler's, because it's a larger amount, I would be willing to allow him to do a GoFundMe.
And that might be faster too. Okay.
Tyler, I had a question. So I
Yes.
couldn't tell in the drawing, so I could see that one side was intended to be anchored in the planter box where the wisteria is. Where was the other side going to be anchored?
So our first and main plan is to anchor it into the concrete in front of the benches. We understand that it is kind of sloped, and we are aware that we will maybe have to kind of adjust it to the sloped concrete where the benches are. So it should be in between the benches and the social hall. That is our current plan. However, we are also prepared if the board does not want the canopy to go into the patio area with posts, that we can adjust it to have it 2 posts in the planter box and include another concrete set, and then have it just reach over, kind of like the original trellis design.
Can you show the picture again? Just because.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Tyler, just to clarify though, you were saying that there's a second option to cantilever the top so that there's just a single set of posts in the planter box for the wisteria.
So we would just move the posts that are in the front near the kind of yellow figure there back into the planter box a bit. We will have to create another shade cloth or fiber shade structure, shade and cover to fit the new drawings, but the main plan right now is to anchor it into the patio area. And it is currently 3.15 inches as the post length, so it should not be that big to take up that much space. But if the board decides that they do not want anything in the actual patio area, then we can also go with the other option.
So does that mean all 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 legs would be in the planter? And
That is
no
correct.
leg, okay, and no leg in the patio. Okay.
Yes.
So Tyler, this is Donna Takao. If it wasn't in the
Yes.
planter and they did go into the patio, how far out into the patio? I
It would
don't-
probably be about 5 or 6 feet, but we can adjust the length
Only
depending
reason
on how
I'm
long we need it.
the only reason I'm asking, there is a wedding coming up in July. I would have to double check with the party, but they were planning to be out on that patio area, and they were going to put canopies up. I'm not 100% sure how far it was on the patio or outside the patio area, but I'm just trying to work out canopies with this structure. I don't know what kind of interference we're going to have, if it is going to be a problem. I don't know.
Hey, Tyler, this is
Yes.
Brian. Nice presentation. I do have a question. So the 3 legs in the back, are you going to put that, so say the planter is here and you have the 3 legs, are they going to go on the edge of where the planter is, and then it goes into the patio like this, and then the wisteria is right here, and it's going to grow up the back of this, the slats on the back of the 3 legs? Or is it going to cover the wisteria? Because it won't work if it's going to cover the wisteria. You know what I mean?
Yes. So right now the plan is that we will not be covering the wisteria over the top or the sides. We would just be putting 2 of these pergola structures on both sides of the wisteria.
Okay.
And to answer the first one, we are putting it at the back of the planter, pretty much right against the parking lot, and then it's going to go over into the patio.
So there'll be 2 structures like this, and then the wisteria is going to be in the middle, and it'll grow
Yes.
on the thing. And then say the kaki tree is over here, then it'll be underneath the kaki tree. One of the
Yes.
structures. Okay.
It should be underneath the branches of the kaki tree.
Okay. So anything in the planter underneath these will be covered by the structure.
Yes.
Okay.
And the cloth shouldn't block all sunlight, so the plant should still get the sunlight, but it will block a lot of it.
Right.
Tyler, I had a question for you. Since you're gonna order these through Home Depot, do you have a lead time of how long it's gonna take for you to get them?
I do not currently, but my contractor has contacts at Home Depot, and he is just waiting for the project approval and to reach out to them regarding this.
Okay, sounds good.
Tyler, this is Kathy again. Do you know how wide that planter is? From
Currently on the left side, it's about,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say from the parking lot to the patio, that not the length of it, but the width of it.
the width of it.
Yeah.
It's about 3 feet,
Okay, thank you.
a little more than that. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Tyler, it's Nadine. So since you're buying this from Home Depot, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there a warranty on this?
I am not sure at the moment, but I do believe it should be by Home Depot.
And then my other question would be, since looks like a canvas type covering, do they specify like how long that covering would last, since it's going to be out in the sun?
There is no current time length of how long the canopy or the canvas will last. But in the meantime, I can research how long it will last and find some suitable method of replacement if we need to.
Okay, thank you.
Tyler, this is Tom Sosonki.
Yes.
I have a question. At the very opening of your presentation, you showed a site plan with the blue area where this canopy was going to go. But you have two canopies and there's one blue area. Do you have a site plan where each of these canopies are going to go? And precisely where they are respect to the wisteria plant?
Yes, so essentially the original plan was to go completely over, but since then we have adjusted and we are now putting it there will be a hole in the middle, I guess, of the blue area in between where the wisteria tree is. So it'll be just two blue areas, one on top.
You're going to have two of these frames.
Tom, I think they'll be side by side.
Oh, no, go back,
Go back, yeah.
go back to the other, yeah.
That one, there you go. See, it'll be here and here, but how far will it come out into the patio? I wonder.
So the maximum feet of the pergola is 10 feet. That's the maximum amount we can go out. But however, we can adjust it to go further in if we need, which is what I was saying for it to be a kind of trellis structure after, if we need to.
Standing in the
See,
middle.
the back leg, those benches are right against the wisteria plant. So there is no room for the legs of the frame to fit between the back of the bench and the wisteria plant.
No, 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 they go this way, not in front.
So if you're gonna go to the north end of it,
It's like this.
Tyler, this is Donna Takao again. So there's two options you were talking
Yes.
about, correct?
It's-
One, the two,
Yes.
you're
the
gonna
leg
go into the
post,
parking lot.
Yeah, you're gonna go into here or you're gonna go out here.
Tom,
Yeah.
can you mute, please?
You-
Thank you. So your two options were, the back legs being within,
Oh, sorry. Give me one moment.
I want to make sure I
Sorry.
understood right. Your back legs were going to be in the planter, just behind the benches or all the way back? The back legs
So for
were,
the very back, it should be up against the cement. So on the left
Okay.
photo, it should be up
that's-
against kind of the cement
those are-
area at the very
those are the
back.
back legs then. So the option one was,
Yes.
straddling the bench then, right? On the patio,
Going over the benches, which
correct, right?
we
So
would
that's
do
option
with-
one.
Yes.
If that was interfering with the
That's- yes, that's our-
patio, that's your initial goal, right?
Yes.
Okay. The other option was to put those legs in the planter? Was that what I was hearing earlier? Put both
Yes.
sets of legs? So the covering would
It
just
would be
cover,
to,
the covering would just be over the planter, not over the benches. Correct?
well, we would extend it out over the benches.
Oh, I see. So you can
with
put
the
the
arms
legs
on the
in the
top.
planters and extend over?
Yes. We would just
Oh.
need to adjust the lengths of the beams.
Okay.
Those plants that are in the planter though, do we know is the from gardeners or whatever, what are, I can't tell it, like the little trees and stuff in there, do they need the sunlight? And is there enough width in the room, like on the right side between the wisteria and the kaki tree? Because your height on the pergola was 7 feet, right? And do we know the height of the underside of the kaki?
Give me-
Like right here, right?
So the height was about 8 feet, and the entire height of the wisteria tree was about 12 feet, which is what we were, or about 10 feet, which is what we were estimating. So our original model was to go 12 feet, which would go over both, or to go over the wisteria. Currently, so on the left side of the wisteria tree, from the edge of the planter to the wisteria tree, it's about 10 feet, and the wisteria tree itself is about 10 feet. And then we measured what it would be on the right side of the wisteria tree, and that's also about 10 feet, clearing the
Here?
kaki tree.
This is 10 feet right here?
It should be about, with the kaki tree cut back. In this photo, it is currently grown out.
Oh, I
This
see.
was prior to when they cut the trees back.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's cut here, so that's more like 10 feet in between here.
Yes.
And just out of curiosity, because it seems like there's could be potential issues on this side. We didn't want to do the building side because why? Just curious.
Sorry, can you?
Instead of doing on this side, I was just curious why we didn't choose doing it over here.
Just talking about the social hall side, the planter on the social hall side.
Can't see
Oh,
your
the planter. on-
Yeah, Peggy, we can't see your cursor, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Only I could see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought, oh, it's cool. I could draw, but if nobody else can see it, then never mind. But yeah, on the social hall side.
So in the left photo, it's going to be on the right side where those benches are currently.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So there are not currently benches there, and so our main reason for the project was to cover the benches we have currently. But it is possible to build that pergola structure on that side and go into that planter on the social hall side, and then cover the benches that are currently there as well.
I only say that because I know I love the wisteria, the Fuji one. It's in bloom, and I'd hate to block it. because it's just super pretty. It's way prettier than mine. Mine's a stick. So I don't know if it's something that we could consider. 'Cause we have
So
those
we've
other
also
side
just
right on the other side.
so we've also discussed the possibility that this structure, the pergola structure, should be able to withstand the weight of the wisteria tree if in the future that you wanted the wisteria to grow on the back of the structure where the slats are across on the parking lot side, which would create kind of a green wall if gardening was interested in doing that.
Tyler,
Yes.
hello. The dates of your project are all active dates at the temple, meaning that we will be having services on those Sundays. Will this area still be usable during that time, or will we need to make arrangements to move the Sunday social into the social hall?
So on the Sunday of the possible dates of the project, we will need to move the Sunday social to inside the social hall because there will be work going on. Or what we can do is, because the cement is already set, we can schedule project work to be done after Sunday social if there's no events after when Sunday social would end. So technically we can have it open for Sunday social. There will just be, I think, posts up and the cement will be set behind the wisteria tree or on both sides, behind and the back. But we can start after if there are no events for that day, for that Sunday.
Okay. Or we can just move it to a social hall.
Or we can move it to the social hall.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any further questions for Tyler?
I had one more thing. So Tyler, one thing you want the board to, well, this is a question. One thing you want the board to do is to figure out where the legs are gonna be for the front legs, either within the planter box, directly in front of the benches, or 10 feet out where they are. Those are kind of your options of where to place them. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Because we would want the board to make that decision and not just have Tyler or the contractor make it and then it'd be the wrong decision. So,
Yeah, understood.
Can the contractor do a CAD model with the benches and the trees in it so we can kind of get a feel? And is there any structural difference with the different footing placement? Right, I'm not an engineer, so I have no clue.
Yes, so we've reviewed both options and the structure will be sound. Whether we place the feet out, it just takes a little more work to adjust the lengths of the structure from the original out of the box design.
So it'll be the same overhang, but different struts or something?
It may be a little shorter in terms of the length if we put all the legs inside the planter, just because to account for wind and earthquakes, it would need to be equal and proportional.
Yeah, maybe a CAD with it would just help. I'm just visual, but that's just me. With this specific specs, because I'm not sure if there's enough information to make the choice of in the planner or out of the planner. Is 10 feet out, is that the middle of the slab that we're looking at about ish? Like how
It's
wide?
about
Yeah.
3 feet or so, or 4 feet from the edge of the bench in the left photo.
Okay, so kind of in the middle ish.
Yes.
Okay.
We could also, if to keep kind of the same design as what's intended in the box, we can adjust the length or the width in this case of the pergola. So it's still, the posts would still be in the patio area, which is still easier than putting them all in the planter, but it would just be a little shorter than the 10 feet. 10 feet is just the maximum we can do.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Tyler? Okay, so,
Oh,
so
sorry.
Tyler, thank
Oh.
you very much for your preparation. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
So one thing about this structure that made it stand out versus the other structures we've kind of thought about and planned for is that this structure, as my contractor, and yesterday I went to City Hall or the Gardena City Hall and talked with their planning division, and we reviewed the structure, and both my contractor and the City of Gardena said that it should not require permits. And I talked to one of their inspectors, and he said that the full length fall right under what is required for a permit. So this structure will not require permits from the City of Gardena.
Good to know.
Okay, thanks for verifying.
Thanks, Tyler.
Okay,
That's a nice
great.
presentation.
Yeah, so thank you, Tyler. Brian, thank you very much also for participating in the meeting today and providing us with the presentation. Appreciate it. So actually, let's go ahead and, oh, that's interesting. Now we're seeing somebody's drawings on there. So we'll go ahead and thank and excuse Tyler and Brian, and we'll have a little bit of an open discussion on our side.
Great,
So,
thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Brian.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Tyler. Good night. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll open it up, discussion or motion, and so we can have, we'll spend a few minutes on this topic and figure out what we want to do.
This is Kathy. I think the idea of having a covering for the patio, I don't know what the best way is, but the covering is a good idea. I was wondering if he can maybe come up with a more of a cantilever, is that what you call it? Like umbrellas where it's straight up and then just extends out rather than having a post. I feel like somebody might run into that post if it's in the middle of the patio. But a cantilever, you know, where it's like L-shaped, maybe would be safer as far as not running into a pole.
That's my thought
But
too.
I think that, I'm sorry.
Okay.
this is Donna, But I think that's his other design where the posts are all in the planter and the L shape comes over the benches.
Right. But if all four, or in his drawing, 5 of the legs are in the planter, that's only 3 feet wide. That's, I don't know how stable that would make the structure. And then, like he said too, you can't extend it very far. Where his structure was going to go out 10 feet. He would have to cut that back several feet if you have all 4 within 3 feet apart. I don't think you can go out too far.
But you can also go to the extent of the benches. So the other legs are against the benches.
Yeah, and that'll give you a couple more inches.
No, but he was saying that design would entail the top overhang being shorter than what he would.
Right. Right.
Hi, this is Cheryl. I guess I'm having a hard time visualizing what he was saying. I understand that he wants to put some of the poles inside by the wisteria, that planter. But if he's only going 10 feet towards the cooling room, then yeah, there's going to be poles in the middle of that patio area. Yes.
It seems like it creates a safety issue having the poles in the center of the.
Right.
Yeah. He said he can't extend it more than 10. I mean, is there a alternative? Like, you know, have they have those sails? You've seen those, the people just put up sails and it's attached to buildings and poles with just
Hooks.
you know, it's just like
We can't attach anything to the building.
Oh, we can't attach it to the building. Oh,
But he was proposing putting all the legs in the planter. So I'm assuming he discussed it with his contractor if that's even possible with this out of the box.
What do you mean all the legs in the planter?
All 5 legs are in the planter, and then
In the wisteria planter?
it's
Yes.
yeah, and it's redesigned. The overhang is redesigned with these legs inside, but the overhang will extend beyond that frame.
But you know what, with all 5 legs in there, that covers up the wisteria tree.
No,
Yeah.
no, but he's designing the overhang on either side of the wisteria. It's
Then-
not, he's not covering the wisteria.
No, it's.
What's
it's not.
supporting it on the lot on the
Patio
side
side.
without all the slats?
It's all 5 legs are in the ground. Each there's rods going all the way across the back. And it's framing out, and it has a roof. I'm not sure how the roof is being held up
Well,
with that design, but I'm assuming because he presented that, it has to be part of the design. I'd have Tyler double check that, but I would hope he wasn't going to present that if it really can't be done.
Yeah, I thought he said that if all the legs were in, then it wouldn't extend, it would be shorter, it wouldn't extend out 10 feet.
Right.
So I'm kind of with Peggy. It's like, it's really hard to have this discussion because we can't picture it in our
Right.
head.
Mhm.
And if it was possible for him to,
Get an updated CAD model.
yeah,
Definitely that, but if you're truly, if he does shorten it just because it's in the planner, then it's defeating the purpose of what that overhang is for, because it's not covering the bench.
Yeah.
no, well, I thought
Well-
it would. Okay, so I
Okay,
thought
so-
it
Yeah.
would be.
So
Yeah,
when he
that part's
said,
confusing to me. This part, like where the footing would be and where the overhang
Yeah.
is a little confusing. Because I'm not sure if it, how,
This is-
like,
this
does
is
it
where we-
only extend 3 feet here?
Yeah, that's a
There's
little
2.
odd.
And then
Peggy, you can't keep pointing because we can't see your pointer.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No,
And,
you can see her cursor because she's sharing her screen right now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
Can you see it? Okay, so
Yeah, I can
like
see it.
this area right here doesn't seem like a long enough spot without it covering the wisteria, because the words felt like it's split, one over here and then one over here.
Yes.
correct.
But
Correct.
but that doesn't feel like 10 feet to me.
He said it's 12 feet, but
12
the
feet,
pergola is
yeah.
only going to be 10 feet.
Hi,
But
this is
this little
Tom.
section is that long?
Yes.
The
You know,
length
if
is
we-
12,
if
the
we
width
put-
is 10.
Yeah, if you put all the legs in the planner,
Yes.
there's gonna be 3 legs facing the Hondo,
Yes.
because that's in the back, and so if you come down the main driveway from 166th Street, you're gonna see 5 legs for each structure, one on either side of the wisteria. And facing the
You're gonna see-
parking lot at the end of the driveway, end of the asphalt, where the planter starts, you're gonna see 3 steel legs going up. And then at the west end of the planter, you're gonna see 2 more legs going up.
Oh, 3.
For a total of 5 legs in that planter. Yes.
For each,
So 10.
total
The
of 10.
planter's only 3 feet wide. This
Yes,
is a
but
kit. It's 10 feet wide.
Exactly. I don't know how they think that that's going to support it on the other side.
well, structurally, it will support it if you put a
Not-
big enough concrete pad there to hold it down.
Oh.
See, then now you're gonna get a
Yeah, but
glob
it's a
of
kit.
concrete.
Yeah,
How
the
is he
kit.
he's gonna cut the kit and then whatever warranty is on the kit is gonna be gone.
Do,
Yeah.
let me
So-
see.
The
I don't
warranty's
know if
only-
we wanna, to me, I would say, hey, the aesthetics from when you come down, drive down from 166th Street, down the middle driveway, aesthetically, you're gonna see 10 poles.
Doesn't it have a back?
Well, it goes with the pergola.
No, The
is
backing's on the top
And horizontal slat.
or horizontal in the back.
Yeah, it does go across. Yeah.
So I think a proper action request would be an updated CAD model with this current design. I do like, and I'm sorry, I don't remember whose idea of the sails are, but if they used, and again, I'm using my cursor, if they did footings in this planter by the social hall to put posts up, could they do sails and have like a post here, post here, post here, post here, and then have the sails across? Because then you're essentially mimicking canopies across the whole concrete pad. It's completely different than his plan, and that's what I don't like, the fact that I'm suggesting it, but at least it mitigates some of our concerns. But maybe, again, if we give them an action item of an updated CAD model, so we could visualize the adjusted pergolas in the actual setting, right? Both from all angles. I think that'll help, because again, just talking about it, I'm still not clear even after Mr. Sasaki tried to describe it. I still can't picture it. And then again, and then maybe suggest, and there's to see if he could ask Miguel if postings and a sale option would be something he could consider.
So, okay, so maybe it sounds like that the concept of having a shaded area for that patio area is something that we would like to see. Restrictions, the concern is having any posts in the middle of the concrete pad is going to create an aesthetic and also a safety issue. And so having posts in the middle of that concrete area of the patio just really isn't an option. And so, suggestions are either something that can be cantilevered, or, as Peggy was saying, that you would have something anchored in the planter boxes next to the social hall, and perhaps anchored on the other side so that there's canopies or sails, right, that are covered across. So summarize it.
Yeah, I'm looking on the manufacturer's website for this element, and it says it cannot be narrowed. So
Yeah.
The way it's assembled, I'm looking at the video. It looks like you can take out one section, so instead of 10 feet, it's 5 feet.
Oh, I see.
But then then the canopy part won't fit. It'll be too long. But that's okay.
Right. Too wide. Yeah. The fabric part you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then the supports are.
I guess I didn't understand also the wisteria. I mean, the wisteria is what itself, that wisteria tree is 6 or 7 feet already, right? If the pergola is 7 feet too, I wasn't understanding how that wisteria tree wasn't even going to fit underneath the pergola.
Oh, it's not going to fit underneath. It's going to be in between. So there's going to be two structures with the wisteria in the middle.
Oh, got it.
So
Okay.
he was saying that
That's
when
what
it
he was saying.
grows, it can go across on top of the pergola.
I see. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would have been better if it was.
But that's why I think, again,
It goes back to the CAD model.
measurements and the CAD visual help.
Yeah. So
The other question is, everyone comfortable with that? If he uses that structure, it's horizontal. As you park your car, like Sean was saying, you come in from 166, you park your car right near the kaki tree. What you're going to be seeing are just horizontal bars going down.
yeah, and actually, I guess he was saying that was for aesthetic purposes to line up with the the horizontal bars on the classroom buildings, right? So
Well,
maybe is
that's
it
when
necessary to have those kind of horizontal bars not even be
Well, they're actually slats
installed?
They're at an angle. A slight angle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so
We're
that's
talking
part of
about
the
out of
shading.
we're talking about the one out of the box, right?
Right.
Yeah, the square one that you presented.
Hey, Peggy, can you stop sharing your screen, and I'm going to put up my screen?
Oh, you can, yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to put up the.
Oh, so you found it. I wonder if those slats in the back, can they not even be installed? Can it just be a?
I would assume that's a support thing. I
Oh.
wouldn't want to mess with that. I don't know.
Because then we don't.
Hey,
I don't know.
Cheryl, I'm going to share something right now.
Okay, you want me to stop?
Sure. See if I can get this together here. So you guys can see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the see how these are at an angle? They're cut at an angle. So it's more of a shade slat.
Mm.
So that's all I wanted to show.
Yeah.
But it does look like when we skip down, this is the front. So these are the way this is constructed.
There's an
See
option
this?
to go midway.
Yeah, it looks like you can take out this whole section right here. So it'd be
Oh.
5 feet. But, he's got to clarify.
Do we
How wide
have?
is our-
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do we have our gardening experts that we could ask if there's any concern they have with what's in the planner too?
There's I forgot the name of that one bush that looks kind of like plates, because James likes to trim that one. That one's a regular shrub. That's been there for a while. The nice plant is the
Pine or
maple. There's a maple in there, from what I remember. And then the wisteria and the kaki tree. I don't know about, there's a pine in there? I don't remember a pine tree. Is it a bonsai?
I tried to look for pictures. I couldn't find any.
You know the width or the dimension or the length from the bench, behind the bench, or so by the wisteria, all the way to the social hall planter? Is that pretty wide? So we couldn't get something where the legs get planted behind the bench and then the other legs get planted.
Then he was saying that this structure that he's proposing is just under the size that is permitted,
that's right. Permit.
without having permits.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if we did a canopy instead of the wood, then it's different.
It's all depends on the size.
Or even if it's a shade?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because I'm not an expert on that. That's what I wish Dave Mitani was here, but there are limits, and I wouldn't want to say that. Yeah, we can put posts up and just put a shade on it, and not get dinged for permits. But
well, the good news is we all think it's a good idea. I
Yeah.
just think there's a little bit more
And
homework.
even like his initial design that he had, that was cantilevered. The backside slats that he had, again, was, I thought he said was intended just to mirror what was happening on the classroom building, but we don't necessarily, at least I'm looking at, do we necessarily need all those slats that face the parking lot? Can he just create the cantilever structure? That was 12 feet high, right? And create that cantilever structure over the benches.
You're talking about the wood structure one?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were saying that was going to take a lot of wood, so it was more.
Well, I think he was, but that's because there was a whole backside. I'm thinking if we don't, if that isn't something that appeals to us anyway, if we were just to eliminate that whole backside where all those slats are, and just have the structure be a cantilevered wood, simple, right? Simple's good.
Do we not have to be concerned with the irrigation system in that planter if they're digging away? It's okay are there pipes in there for irrigation for those plants, the wisteria, the wood maple, or whatever?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
There is
There's a
sprinklers.
garden person.
There's sprinklers there. But you know, that's all PVC. It can be rerouted and
Rerouted.
work.
Gonna
But-
reroute it.
Not that I'm volunteering to do it, mind you, but it can be done.
Thank you, Brian.
No, I said not that I'm volunteering.
Okay, Patty, do you have enough information, or do you want to get some more clarification? I think we're not ready to approve
Right.
of the project, right? We just I think better clarification maybe on how this would be fitting into the planner box with the updated model.
So I can
Um,
ask him for the updated drawings, the design model with the 5 legs in the planter bed. And then we
Yeah.
wanted to address the slats on the back. Are those really necessary?
Right.
Well, the design of the actual structure, the slat holes are already cut into the steel.
Yeah.
Although
Would look odd if we don't put them in.
I don't mind the slats in the back, Ross, because it kind of keeps the cars separated from the social area. You know, it'll provide a nice backdrop without having all the cars in the background. So I think it's okay.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, the way
one of
these slats are, it's wide enough. It's
yeah,
not-
but the catch show how does the wisteria fits in the structure. I noticed in his drawings there's an opening, but maybe you guys can't tell how the wisteria fits into that structure. So
It
maybe
doesn't
that's what
fit. It doesn't fit into it. It fits next
around
to
it, right?
It's
Between
next to
it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the two structures are the wisteria is here and the two structures are right here. So it's going to be open in the middle. So it will keep the wisteria free to run
You
wild.
didn't
This is
enter the
creating 2
sink
shaded
before putting
areas.
Anything down the drain or kitchen.
What's that?
Sorry, I'm talking to Jenna. Sorry.
Oh, hey, put yourself on mute. So there was a question that I guess Brian brought up. He wanted the board to decide where the structure would be anchored because they didn't
No,
want to make that call.
I think what he meant was, you know, there's this the side is in the planter itself, but on the other side it will be into the concrete area.
Right.
And people here talked about being cantilevers. I mean, there's nothing there. Or if there's a poster, how far do we want it to go in to be seen?
So that's the question he had. So we should probably answer that.
Right.
If we're going to go with the 4-post or the 5-post. Now, if you want to go cantilevered, then he has to submit another picture without the slats in the back.
Wasn't that the first design, the one that required a lot of extensive permits?
I didn't hear about permits. I just heard about the expense.
Wood, yeah.
Yeah, it's just how far that goes into that side. You know, the limit is 10 feet or 12 feet, right? So it can be 12 feet or shorter, depending on where we want those poles to be. Because some people here address it's a safety hazard, but you know, I'm not sure what the hazard it would be if people are running around. But it could also mean that we can change where we serve coffee and donuts as well too. Right now we use the side of the house, but it doesn't have to be there at all either. So we could move things around too as well.
Hey, I kind of missed some of the meeting, but is this an approved project already?
No, it's
No, that's the reason why we're here.
That's why we're here. He's proposing in his Eagle Scout project.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, let me have Tyler give us 2 sets of drawings, one with all 5 posts in the planter, and then his proposed with the 2 posts going into concrete, which we're kind of leaning not, but I want completed drawings or, you know, mocked up drawings of both options.
I think so.
And so by the one with the 5 posts in the planter, how far out is the thing going to go? And the one with 3 posts in the planter and 2 on the concrete, how far out it's going to go? How much are we cutting off by putting all 5 legs into the planter?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I will
I
have
think-
them submit drawings.
Thank you, Patty.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. Let's move on if that's okay. Okay, here, let me go back and share. We'll get back to the agenda and get back to the rest of the meeting here.
Ross,
yes.
sorry, this is Kathy, and I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about this now. Going back to the Tyler thing. Tyler's going to spend a lot of time trying to to change things up and to, meet some of our requirements. Are we, just generally speaking, are we okay with the project in general? I hate for him to put out all kinds of effort and then we said, nah, we're not going to go with it.
Right.
Kathy, you mean?
Are we
mean-
okay with the idea? And if he draws a picture with all 5 legs in the planter and the overhang is 3 feet or 4 feet or whatever it is, are we okay with that? Or we say, okay, I just don't want to wait and have him put out a lot of effort and at the end we said, nah, I don't think we'll go with it.
Well,
Isn't that part of presenting a project?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I see what Kathy means is that,
Yeah.
he can put a lot of work into this. In the end, the board may decide nay on the whole project. So,
And that's a possibility.
Yeah.
but if there's no objections to the project, maybe we can take a vote on whether is there anyone who agrees that this project should not take place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, are we all in agreement that this project is something we want to see? Whether it's wooden slats, whether it's a metal thing, whether it's 3 feet out, 10 feet out, or
I'm going to be a killjoy. I don't like the project. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've been with the church since the 90s, never had problems at the patio. And if it was too hot or whatever, then we just go into the social hall. I mean, the purpose of the covering is for the shading, right?
Right, but it's not just for Sunday social. It'll be for like during
Other events.
Curiosity,
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
We could use it. We could use it if we have a party.
Yeah,
Right.
Judy, Judy, he brought it up is that we haven't been in that area very much this past year.
Yeah. Right.
We've been inside of social, which kind of interrupts all the other social hall uses. So
And even when everybody was kind of casually hanging out, we had drag benches around the corner. So everybody's kind of sitting in the shade around the corner, right?
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
it is nice to have shade out there.
Okay.
Okay.
So as long as we're all kind of in agreement that it's a good project, we just have to find a good